Well, you remind me, what was 1A principally about? Tell me, 2 words. EV and RV, I hear from the front. Is that what you said? And they stand for? Your first learning intention was to be able to work out which is the EV and which is the RV. If you don't know which is which or what they are. What kind of information were we getting EV and RV off? Where does an EV and RV appear? Scatterplot. Thank you. They appear on scatterplots. So we looked at scatterplots. Now, that's one kind of data that we're going to... What's the other kind of data I said we might be looking at? Scatterplots and two-way tables. You probably don't remember that particularly. I just glossed over that. Now, scatterplot, where you've got individual results, numbers in pairs, remember. But another kind of data is what we call categorical variables. Now, do you remember learning in year 11 about categorical variables in statistics? You probably remember the word. If you don't remember what they are where people belong in categories, or things belong in categories. Colors of a car. The different colors are blue, green, white, black, and so on. They're the categories. And if you want to know how many red cars go past your street, you count how many red cars and you count how many ones, and that's a categorical variable, the color. And then you can do some analysis of that information. Two-way tables, which are good for categorical variables. There we are. There's your learning intention for today. We'll just dwell on that for a moment, make sure you know what it is. Given a two-way table, can you determine if there is an association between the two variables? What kind of variables did I say? Categorical. Categorical. Try and, it might be a good idea, if you're not going to remember these things for 30 seconds, is to write them down as I go. So just before I talk about categorical variables, write it down in your notes, and then you'll make you know what it is when we come to it. So two-way tables show the relationship between two categorical variables. I'll give you an example. Supposing I went around the room, your favorite color of car is, or what the color of your car actually is. So we're going to have, and I'm going to sort it out between males and females. So males are going to like green cars and yellow cars and all these fancy shiny red cars, and girls are going to like white cars and maybe what? Now, do you think there's going to be a connection between your gender and your preferred color car? Is it going to be easy to say that boys are more likely to like shiny green cars than girls? Because I don't know whether there is or not. I've got no idea, and I'm not going to pursue the point. But the point is, there might be an association between those two variables, same as we had association between the EV and the RV on scatterplots. Now, that's my point about this exercise here, 1B. Is there an association between the two variables? Now, that's a two-way table. This is out of the textbook, so you will be getting a copy of this. But if you want to copy it down so you can talk about it, please do. We've got two categorical variables, male and female. That's the category. You belong to either the category male or the category female. We've got attitude towards gun control. Attitude towards gun control. That's the categorical variable. Either you're for it or against it. It's not like red, blue, green. There's only three things. There's only two things, for and against. It's a two-way table, so it's got rows and columns. Two-way means rows and columns. It doesn't mean two of each, because you'll see later on you can have a two-way table with more than two columns, more than two rows. But two-way table just means two directions. Now, if you have got a copy of this, it would be a good idea. By the way, set the explanatory variable, not written on here, so you might like to put this on your notes. The explanatory variable is the one in the middle here. It's the one that goes where you've got the heading at the top and the numbers go in columns. So that's the explanatory variable always. So you're being told which is the explanatory variable. You're being told which is the response variable. Actually, it does have EV and RV on there. I didn't realize. Okay, there you are, EV and RV, they're on there. So sex is the explanatory variable. It's going to explain perhaps attitude towards gun control. But the question is how we got to look at these numbers to work out whether there is an association. That's what we'll do in a moment. And then if you've finished, maybe start thinking about whether you can tell from those numbers whether your gender determines your attitude towards gun control or not. And if not, why not? Can you tell from those numbers whether I can predict whether you're for or against gun control by deciding, by knowing whether you're male or female. So the question might be, are males more likely to be in favour of gun control than females, or is it the other way around? Yes or no? Hands up for yes, you can tell. Hands up for no, you can't tell. 1. Okay, what about if you don't know whether you can tell or not? Some of it. Well, the answer is you can't tell yet. You've got to do something to the numbers. What you have to do is to put them in as percentages. Because we don't know how many males, well, we do know how many males were surveyed, 58 and 42 males, which is a different quantity. We didn't survey equal numbers of males and females. If we had done, we might be able to tell. What you've got to do is turn them into percentages, which you won't have to do because I'm going to give it to you on the next slide, but basically we change these 4 numbers here. Well, we change all the numbers because that's got to become 100, that's got to become 100, that's got to become 100. And 32 out of 58 as a percentage is going to be 50%. 32 to 155.2. Agree? Do you want to calculate? It's 32 divided by 58 times 144%. So if you've got raw numbers on a two-way table and you're asked to determine association, if there is one or not, and what it is, then into percentages. So these numbers here don't go into 100 because this tells us 62% of people in general, male or female, are in favour of gun control and 38% are not. And then can you tell, having done that, whether there is an association? Just looking at the 4 numbers in the middle. 45% against, female 71 in favour, 28 against. They're different, aren't they? Who's more in favour of gun control, men or women? Women, all right? If that's evident from those numbers, we can say that there is an association between gender and gun control. And you would have to write down something like, looking at the numbers, 71% of women are in favour of gun control as opposed to 55.2%. Therefore, there is an association between gender and attitude towards gun control. Now, this slide here has been turned into percentages. That's males and females voting on Sunday racing. We go to the dogs on Sunday. Can we go to the horses on Sunday? I don't know whether we can or not, to be honest. I haven't done that sort of. But if the numbers are all the same, if 54.5% of females and 55% of it, there's no damn difference. The gender is not having any, you cannot use gender to predict in any way at all towards Sunday racing. The numbers are much the same. And that's what you've got to be looking for. If the numbers are much the same, this one where they were clearly different, you can say confidently, it doesn't matter what your gender is, you're going to come up with the same kind of response to Sunday racing. In the exercise coming up, there's 6 questions. You haven't got it yet. You will have a minute. 6 questions where you have to determine, first of all, which is the EV and which is the RV. Which one is the EV, by the way? Here. Which is the explanatory variable here? Gender is the RV. Then you're going to be asked to turn the numbers into percentages, maybe, and then you're going to be asked to say if you think there's an association based on the numbers that you can see. So sometimes there is no relationship between the 2 categories of gender and... Here's what I said earlier. A two-way table can have more than 2 rows, more than 2 columns. This one's got 3 columns and 3 rows. Hope you know which is the difference. So age is the explanatory variable, and it's been split up into 4 age groups. The response is interest in sport, which has been split into 3 groups, high, medium and low. So all these young people were asked, or young up to 50, were asked what their interest in sport is. As you can see, when people get 36 to 50, they're losing interest. They've got low interest, 20%. Just make sure they're percentages, which they are, because they add up to 100 everywhere. Now, can we say on any of those 3 levels of interest whether there is a relationship between age and interest? 56, 50, 40, 35. You can see there? Going down, aren't they? High interest going down. Medium interest, it's actually going up a bit. And low is going up a bit. So, yeah, as you get older, you get less interested in sport, agree in those surveys? So there's some effect over interest in sport. The actual wording of these things will be explained in a minute. Here is your success criteria for the morning. Try to complete all questions in exercise 81. If there is an association between the 2 categorical variables.